when the bill was proposed and I read it, I went to Speaker Boehner's office and I vehemently expressed my displeasure with the fact that they were naming a joint select committee. I said, why didn't you just have the House Ways and Means Committee and the Senate Finance Committee be tasked with that and put the requirements on those two committees of jurisdiction to do this? I didn't like it. I don't think any of us on the House Ways and Means Committee liked that approach. But what it came down to was that we were not going to be able to get anything through the Senate, and we weren't going to get the acquiescence even of the Republican leadership in the Senate, short of doing that. They wanted that. So it is what it is. The bottom line is they're tasked with coming up with at least 1.5 trillion in cuts. That's the floor. We're going to push them to go more and to do more. And we're going to push them to embrace fundamental tax reform and to do all the things that we wanted to do effectively in the House budget that we passed earlier in the year. And that's I think, the goal.
Help me out here, because there's two things. President Obama appointed a debt commission. Mm-hmm. It came up with, I think, basically $4 trillion mm-hmm. worth of cuts. Well,
it's a
revenue that
yeah.
would, and that didn't almost see the light of day. And then my understanding, or what I've read, is somewhere about 2 weeks before the deadline, mm-hmm. Speaker Boehner and President Obama were very close to another $4 trillion mm-hmm. agreement. And what we wind up with is this thing that if they do minimally, all we'll get is $2.5 trillion out of it.
Yeah. Well, that's the risk. That's the downside of it, and I'm certainly concerned about that. But the debt commission that President Obama put together did some pretty valuable work, and there are some good things in there and some bad things in there. Things I would agree with, things I disagree with. The president completely ignored it. He ignored the problem. Subsequently, you had the Biden commission, did similar work. There was some overlap, some good ideas, some not so good. Again, nothing happened. What's different in this is that in looking at the construct of this bill, the backstop to force them is this sequestration process, which says if you don't do this, if you don't come up with at least 1.5 trillion, there are going to be some ugly across-the-board cuts that I don't think anybody's going to want to see. So there's going to be tremendous pressure on these folks on that committee to come up with some agreement on what to do. And then what they recommend has to be voted on in the House and Senate. Is it perfect? No, I don't think there's any perfect solution, but this probably has as much teeth in it that you can possibly put together.